storm. I said, Lee, we need to go into the backyard. There's something going on in the backyard. So go in the backyard, and here he has this old wooden tool shed. And I told him and my friend, I said, come put your hand on this tool shed. I said, there's a portal underneath it. And they put their hands on it. I said, oh my God, it's moving, it's vibrating. I said, yeah. I said, there's a portal in there. And then the Indians were trying to protect the man and his wife, but they couldn't. But they were trying their best. And there was an elemental there, a forest elemental. He was just curious. So he was like hiding under the porch and looking around, sticking his nose in things. And once I removed the demon, then the Indians thanked me for that and went back into the woods. And I told the elemental, I said, you go with them. You don't need to be hanging out here. So after the removal, everything was quiet. But he missed his wife so much, he ended up selling the house.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah. So that's why these things are buried in the ground. You know, there's one under Alcatraz.
Really?
Yeah, there's an old one under Alcatraz. That's why the Indians don't like it. I think they call it the Island of Death or something like that, or Island of Evil. That's why there'll always be demons at Alcatraz. There were a few more down in the basement that I had to remove remotely while I was there. But, yeah, there'll always be demons there because they're drawn to the one that's, you know, entombed under the island.
Is there other places like that that will always, no matter what you do, will always be darkly haunted?
Not that I've found so far. That Alcatraz, only because I didn't take it out. I just left the old demon there because that's what's underneath there. But if you were to remove it, then it would stop. But I did not have time to do that removal. I'd already done several. I'll probably go back eventually and remove it. But for the time being, it's still there, still entrapped under the rock of the island.
Do you worry that you may remove something from someplace public like that, that's a public haunt, where the ownership might get really, really ticked off at you and try to sue you?
No.
Because I know they can't prove that you did anything.
See, they can't prove one way or another. They can't prove it. They can't prove its existence, and they can't prove that I removed it.
Isn't that great?
The thing is, if there's something there that's good and is, you know, wants to stay there, and the people that own the building or whatever approve, then I just leave it alone. I played the go-between, and I talk to them both, and, you know, and arrange a meeting of the mind, so to speak. I've done that before, and that's fine. I don't mind, but demons don't need to be down here. They don't need to be attacking people. They don't need to attach themselves to people and ruin their lives. You know, when you got a demon attachment, it takes care of every aspect of your financially, emotionally, medically. They ruin everything. Your mental health, everything. They just drag you down.
Is there ever a case where you could have a location that's haunted by something dark but something good, and because it's balanced, there's no problem?
See, now Ariel doesn't see it that way. She sees every demon as a removal. She's, you know, her job is to get them out of the physical world. They need to not be there. There was a case I was in on where I actually did a minor exorcism of a person, and I gave the lesser demon, I gave it a chance. I said, listen, if you want to go back into the light, I said, I can call Jesus and ask if he will take you home. I said, if that's what you want. And so, you know, I had my two friends with me, one that was the minister and the other one, and so I called Jesus, and they're standing in front of me, and they both kind of move aside as this big arm comes out and it's just like filled with light and love, and it reaches out towards the demon. But the demon was afraid to take it. And I'm like, okay, if you don't want that, I said, so Jesus left. And I said, okay. I said, you're hiding out from Lucifer. I said, well, let me call Lucifer. So I asked for Lucifer to come. And my friends both saw him coming down the hallway. Said it was like blacker than black. And he had a humanoid figure. And they couldn't look at him. You know, it hurt their eyes to look at him. And he came and he told the lesser demon, you know, I'm going to take you out. You know, you need to come. And it refused. So Lucifer looked at me and said, I'll be back for it. And he disappeared down the hallway. And then exactly at 3 a.m., all three of us woke up in our respective beds and heard the words, it's done. And the woman hasn't had any problems since then.
In the chat, you missed it. Brenda said, can you imagine the judge's face on that case when they tried to sue you?
Oh, yeah, that'd be funny as anything.
Yeah. We're giving everyone a lot of visuals tonight.
Yeah, the trouble is you'd have to prove it one way or another, and unless they can prove it, it's a moot point. Nobody can take it.
One of the things that one of my friends always says is that she hates is that, you know, a lot of times paranormal teams will go into a location and the first thing they'll say is it's a demon. And then we all have to spend our time proving either that it's not or attempting to get rid of it.
Exactly.
And when they run out screaming.
Yeah. And they think that automatically if it does bad things, if they get scratched or whatever, then it's automatically a demon. But that's not true. There are earthbound negatives, you know, people that were nasty in life and they're nasty in death. And they cause a lot of problems. They can show themselves as a 7-foot shadow person because that's how they want you to perceive them. They look into your mind and they make you see them as they wish to be perceived. I see them. I see through all that. So I see them as they are. Ran into a case where the guy was a short, fat, balding guy who never got any respect in life. So he was showing himself as a 7-foot tall shadow person. I'm like, really? Bugger off, man. I got your number. I said, you need to leave. So I got rid of him, but I'm like, really? You don't have to be that way. You don't have to show yourself that way.
Back to a supernatural.
Yeah.
You know, the reason that Crowley became a demon was for 3 inches, you know.
Uh-huh.
You know, it just makes you laugh.
Yeah.
Get scratched all the time.
Ron asked, whatever. A lot of times when we go to a location, I get scratched. Doesn't seem to matter what location. If they say, "Oh, we're here in a location where men get scratched," women don't usually, but lo and behold, Denise gets scratched. Or we're in a location where they say, "Well, women aren't usually allowed in this area."
About one, no one's ever been scratched.
Or even a place where no one's ever been scratched, I get scratched.
Yeah, you know, an earthbound can do that too, to say, hey, I'm here, pay attention, get the hell out of my house, you know, and they will do it to you. It doesn't have to be a negative. They can, you know, and because you've told the story, you know, that everybody gets scratched that comes in here, they read your mind and they can say, oh, okay, so I need to scratch this dude to prove that I'm still here.
So you think that there's some validity to the repeated story?
Yeah, there can be validity, especially if, you know, there were people at one time, you know, if you're pissing them off by coming into their house or whatever and trying to invade their space, they're going to get upset about the whole thing. You know, if somebody came into your house and said, you need to leave, or why don't you just jump up and down to prove to me that you're here? I mean, you'd get a little pissy about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing with them. They were all people at one time.
Actually, I guarantee any of my paranormal friends, should they die, I guarantee they're going to be doing more than jumping up and down to prove that they exist. as spirits. I bet you they're going to be doing things that's going to really be proven something. You know, like me and my mom had a word, and I told her if she ever came to me to tell me that word. And I've heard the word twice, so I know that she's there. But you know, she's around, and I know it. But Carl, thank you, Carl, so much for the questions. He wants to know, do you know anything about imps?
Yeah, they're kind of like elementals. They just kind of, they're very curious. They like to play practical jokes, and they like to bug people. I ran into them when I was in Scotland a year ago. They're funny.
Can they also be doing some of the bidding for the devil?
No, not really.
Because we've had some that have bit people.
Yeah, they're tricksters. Like elementals will do that. You piss them off, and they'll do more than bite you. Yeah, they have their own agenda. So if minions now, and I don't mean the yellow guys,
which I know.
love, they the minions fall into the category of pain in my butt. They're the creepy crawly things that crawl up the walls and the ceilings, and they show themselves as spiders and all kinds of creepy thingies. And then, of course, you have the shadow people. Those are all minions of the lesser and old demons.
So, everyone, I want you to get ready for a short break here. We here need to take a short one. And so you guys go get your drink of water, whatever. And this is our last break of the night. So if you have any outstanding questions, this is the time to get them in the chat, or if you're in the room in the peanut gallery, you need to get them ready, and come back to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama, and we'll be back.
Listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experienced Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride, everyone. I hope that you guys have been enjoying June Lundgren. She has been amazing tonight, and I've been having a lot of fun talking to her and letting my whole family see how I do this all the time. I'm going to go back and clean up a question here in the chat. It's from Brenda Holmes. She asks, I may have missed this, but does June believe that some souls are sent right back to the task to right back with tasks to perform, especially if they fail to accomplish it the first time.